Hi, everyone. Hi, I'm Kay Gabriel. It's yeah, that's nice. It's my pleasure to welcome you to the Poetry Project. Thank you so much for coming tonight. Before I get started with talking about our evening, I want to invite you to come right back here on Friday for the second to last event of our season, which is Holland Andrews and Unia Eddie Kwan, Ka Baird, and Zini Parkins. And then please also come back on Wednesday, December the 4th, for our Other Countries Black Queer Expression event. And then finally, I'm very excited to see you all back here in this room on January 1st, 2025 for our marathon. Logistics. Bathrooms are under the sinks. If you know where the other bathroom is in this building, please do not go out and use it. You will be locked out. And then if you're going to smoke, please do so on the curb, not in the yard. Thank you so much. And I am just so shivering with excitement to welcome you to this back-to-back performance by Macy Rodman and Julio Torres. It's not every day that we force a bride to perform on her wedding day. Congratulations, Macy. Yeah, show us the rock. I've been wanting to get this pair here for a long time. I'm so thrilled it's happening. Run of show for tonight. I am going to invite up here in a second Heron Walker. Heron will introduce Macy. Macy will perform. Then no intermission. Brandon Flynn will come up here. Brandon will introduce Julio. Julio will perform. We will continue the debauch elsewhere. So once again, thank you all so much for coming. Heron Walker, take it away. She's coming.
Hi. Okay, let's go back to 2015. We're coming out of the Brooklyn drag renaissance of the early 2010s in the wake of that moment in the middle of the decade that my friend, the writer Ty Mitchell, once described as the great audition or transition moment for so many queens on the scene, when a clarion call rang out. For all the hashtag girls like us who didn't dream of being girl bosses at the time, or even Carol from accounting, who cared not for the era's tipping points or unprecedented visibilities, who didn't even want to be seen on some days, both literally and also in that more annoying sense of the word too, who didn't want to get out of bed in the morning, who had to pop a fucking Zanny just to make some eggs. These girls found their anthem in Macy Rodman's breakthrough single, Lazy Girl. The video for which featured Macy and a bunch of other trans girls from around the city trawling around a green-screened purgatory, trapped in a CGI'd domestic tableau. But despite what the title of the song might have you believe, Macy is one of the hardest working women in show business, certainly that I've ever met, and I am the president of show business. She's a true interdisciplinary talent. Oh my God, you look amazing. She's a true interdisciplinary talent, a quadruple, quintuple, probably octuple, non-uple threat, alongside her impeccable discography, which to date includes three albums, an EP, a collection that remixed her latest LP, which sounded like Liz Phair, self-titled, meets Madonna Beautiful Stranger, called Unbelievable Animals, and so many more releases. She can do makeup, design, craft clothing, fashion chic yet whimsical marabou headpieces. Also, her IMDb is growing ever longer as I speak, with unforgettable recent cameos in Julio Torres' HBO series Fantasmas and director Theda Hamill's debut feature film Stress Positions. with Theta on NymphoWars. Any listeners? Okay. Their joint podcast of over half a decade that has not only revived the serialized radio play as a narrative medium, but made a cackling fool out of me and probably so many others on the B38 more times than I can count. Macy has reshaped the way that so many of us speak and think. I don't want to go all Miranda Priestley, cerulean belt on you, but if you often find yourself saying the phrase gay guy as if it were just one word, like, look at that gay guy, or it's just a bunch of gay guys, you probably have her to thank for it, either because of how many of us started saying it so much, because of Macy and Theta saying it on their podcast, or because of her brilliant 2021 single, Rock and Roll Gay Guy, a playful ode to hooking up with one such titular kind of, oh my God, I'm kicking something. A playful ode to kicking a water bottle. A playful ode to hooking up with one such titular kind of gay guy, even though we're, quote, both complete disasters, and you know he'll break your heart, but at least you know he'll do it in style. Like what, Kay Gabriel? Like a gay guy, exactly. Who else but Macy, whose brain is always working light years ahead of our own, could come up with such a perfect, accurate, plainly obvious in hindsight, though at the time unnamed kind of taxonomical archetype such as that? She's also a master impressionist, capable of both the over-the-top caricature as well as the studied, pitch-perfect impersonation, the perfect melding of those two of hers being the Caitlyn Jenner impression. Woo! Born of the Instagram handle Kate Updates, which honestly, to paraphrase Nicki Minaj, all other Caitlyn Jenner impressions are her sons. But despite all the voices and characters within her, there's no mistaking nor replacing the pure, inimitable essence that is Macy Rodman, an artist and a woman, for sometimes one is both, who over the past 15 years has left an indelible mark on Brooklyn as we know it. So many of the venues we flocked to over the years to catch her live shows may have come and gone, like Don Pedro off the Lorimer JMZ, where for 3 years Macy hosted the iconically unhinged drag variety show known as Bath Salts, or that dark cavernous warehouse I went to in Gowanus, where she thrashed and stomped about to She Will Be a Relic One Day, a pulsing dance track that finds comfort in destruction, reminds us that nothing lasts forever, the body we hate, the government we despise, a paradigm in desperate need of shifting. But the memories she conjured out of nothing in those spaces will, sorry, this is corny, but they will last a lifetime. I hope her latest venue will prove to be as endless. So please welcome back to the Poetry Project, local bride, Macy Rodman.
My friend Anna Seward died of an overdose when we were in our early 20s. We were friends in Juneau, Alaska, where we grew up. Anna showed me Dresden Dolls and Rocky Horror. She became a train hopper and visited me once at my apartment in Chinatown and insisted on sleeping on the roof with her oogle boyfriend. We went out to a club one night and she stole someone's jacket. I made her call the girl from the stolen phone and return it. I never saw her again. Plastic surgery on the beach isn't easy, but it's cheap. Clocky hands and clocky feet. Take my nose and keep it, please. Bad, sad, glad, dad. side. In the darkness of the night, phantom pain leads the way for her. And when the moon provides no light, she lets the darkness be her guide. Sapphire sky, the sapphire, sapphire, the sapphire sky. The sapphire sky. There's a road that every woman's drove through emerald groves along the coast. There's a door, knock 3 times fast and then knock 3 times more, but this time slow. And on the floor spills out the light, citron leaves on safe house keys for her. And then but we live anchor at first light, the sapphire sky, the sapphire sky. You and I, but it's the sapphire sky. When the time comes, she will know that she's got no place to go, and her only hope is to keep on running from a plane, train, car, or boat. It's an endless movie trope, but in this flick, the end is never coming. There's a way to slip out undetected, cross the line to the other side. Send an email real quick. Terra Australis Incognita. People were looking for Antarctica in wooden ships for hundreds of years. Each country had its own ragtag crew, captained by an insane person, setting sail and combing the seas in search of the unknown southern land. James Cook thought he hit it when he landed on the Kerguelen Islands, but it was just an igneous rock formation that had already been discovered by the French decades before. Tierra del Fuego served as a landing pad after ships got battered by the thick sheet of ice that stretches over the ocean miles before you even see the continent. The existing population of Tierra del Fuego was decimated in the process. In 2028, the former United States of America was evacuated to make room for Elon's Place, a nightclub and steakhouse located in the heart of the former state of Idaho. The rest of the country was converted into server farms and beef farms, manned completely by ChatGPT-operated novelty claw machines repurposed from arcades. The population of the former United States was dispersed to 3 places: Greenland, the Moon, and Antarctica. Greenland had a Miami-like vibe after the heat from the servers and methane from the beef raised the Earth's temperature by 20 degrees and counting. Antarctica was like Australia, Australia becoming more like Arizona. Antarctica's climate was pleasant, mild. It's a little bigger than Europe, so people fit on it pretty comfortably. The Moon was like Williamsburg or Soho. To be scored, and they all just wanna go to Antarctica. Dribble basketballs right into escaping more. They want a coat of healing gold leaf and top her with special sauce. They want a man mission to Mars so he can build a cocktail bar. And then when all its rivers dry, they'll pour mezcal on Martian rocks. They wanna rip heads off penguins and use them as shoes. They wanna issue every compass and hit Pergolin on cruise control. It's a little late now to scold, so I guess we all gotta go to Antarctica. They wanna rip up our bodies and use them as shoes. They wanna fuck up with impunity and deny abuse. Oh, and they always want more. Ambergris and boar, and a diamond like an apple, and a centuries old sword. And a diamond like an apple, and a centuries old sword. Ambergris and apple blossom from an orange in Antarctica. I was cat-sitting at a beautiful apartment in Flatbush with an upright piano, a view, and a cat with no teeth. It was bright yellow morning. I was learning to play a Shamir song on the piano and was fumbling all over the keys. I'm not a player, really. I'm more of an entertainer, as Tori Amos would put it. I caught the news on Instagram. It's so cliche to say I didn't believe it was real, but I first saw it on Charlene's story, and truly I couldn't tell if it was an RIP thing or if she was just celebrating Mother apropos of nothing. I didn't want clarification. I was terrified to get clarification. The day dragged on and it became clear. I texted the girls. It was panicky for a while and then quiet. I watched Chopped for like 5 hours. I didn't cry all day. I was too confused to cry. Then it was night and the sky was black. I went into the bathroom and clipped my nails over the sink. As I was opening the medicine cabinet, I lost grip on the clippers and flung the cabinet door directly at my face. The door hit me on the side of my eye, right at the orbital ridge. I was gushing blood. I started heaving tears and sobbing. Sobbing turned into screaming, screaming and heaving and running around the apartment and pulling at my clothes. The neighbors must have been this close to calling the cops. I learned later that Almaria had cut her face on a mirror just a few days before in a really similar way. She was on her way out of the house to meet Cecilia for what would end up being the last time. As my screams filled the cat apartment, I became furious I would never see Cecilia again. I was furious I would never see Babes again. I reached into the future and screamed for Marina, fell into the past and screamed for Nancy, screamed for Melinda. Why is the sky pitch black all the time? At Babes' funeral, Jake and I got overwhelmed. We stepped outside and we were talking to Babes' mother. A true gag that she showed up, flew across the pond with her little purse and her thick Liverpool accent to mourn her daughter, who she was a fucking bitch to before she died. We smoked and watched and gagged and stood, and as we became more and more set into the weird jello mold of a scenario, suddenly, a rat runs up from the curb, runs directly into a brick wall head first, and dies. That's true. Why is the sky pitch black all the time? Let's see if I can do this. Nope. There we go. Down in the basement, the girls are wasted, burning you in our black light. No bed tongues, no grace tonight. You fucked all of us over. Even when you were sober, you got what you wanted and became the night. But I don't think you wanted to die. You just wanted comfort. A sister or a brother, a woman's body curves so softly. I always wondered what it's like to be beaten to death with a copper pipe. It's like California under New World Order. It's high and oppressive and awfully bright. But I don't really wanna die just for the comfort of someone's older brother. Why'd you have to go away? Not that I had much to say, but if I could, I'd ask you just to hang around, stay here through the night. You barreled out in such a haste, no one knew just what to make of your great escape. I wish you would have hung around, stayed here through No one in the park has teeth. I genuflect, I genuflect. No one in the park has teeth. I genuflect, I genuflect. All the love I have received has never been as big as this. I surrender to its might. All the knowing I have had has been surveillance. This is the intimacy of a first friend at camp with a flashlight under a bed. You swing in circles, I am swaddled and swaddle. No one in the park has teeth. I genuflect, I genuflect. I had to write a poem. Speak with all honesty, I should have said no. When you came back in my life again, I should have quit cold. It's just an innocent evening, how bad could that be? 3 minutes left, right? Oh, okay. I am. Said me the stupid amnesia. I'm a woman in comedy. We're used to the green, red, you know. But I can't tell a lie. Felt so alive. So if I speak with all honesty, let's go. Oh, I just want you to love me. I want you to feel the way I do. I just want you to love me. And I want it to be true. I just want you to L-O-V-E-M-M-M-E-E, L-O-V-E-M-M-M-E-E, L-O-V-E-M-M-M-E-E. So if I'm telling the truth again, I'm living in hell. I've shown my cards in position and I've lifted my veil. I thought I washed you away this time with shots and cocaine. But all it took was a smile and I forgot all the pain. Yeah, but I can't tell a lie. I felt so, no. I would have left my friends behind. They tell me I should move on again, and that's when I say, I just want you to love me. I want you to feel the way I do. I just want you to love me. And I want it to be true. I just want you to love me. I want you to feel the way I do. I just want you to love me. And I want it, oh, I want it, oh, I want it. I want to thank Kay Gabriel for putting this together and and pairing me and Julio together, which is, I mean, you know, yeah, she knows what she's doing. And also for last year, Kay paired me and Cecilia together for an event here that would be a similar pairing style, and it never happened because Cecilia died and left such a crater in our community. And you know, this goes out to her. You know, she's listening. Cecilia! 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 Thank you.
I'm not going to say anything substantive because I'll crack, but thank you so much, sister. Weddings are extremely in fashion, and so to someone who not a month ago was married in this room, Brandon Flynn, please come up to introduce Julio.
Thank you so much. That was so beautiful, and congratulations, you guys. Very sexy. Go to Beverly's later. I'm Brandon Flynn. I'm an actor. I'm a gay guy. I also kicked that water bottle. Wow, it's really packed. Julio and I have known each other for a few years now. Two gay guys in their 30s in New York City. Naturally, we have been to a couple sex parties together. One sweaty night in Brooklyn at Banya, wrapping up the evening, I drove Julio back to his, and we traded our horny little stories. And after I told him about the guy who was probably on a load of G, but was cute enough, and, well, he was on a load of G, so persistent enough, Julio casually suggested he knew who I was talking about by remarking, "Oh yeah, the kettlebell." And in my head, suddenly, there I was back in the steam room that was dangerously hot, and as the steam cleared, there he was, a kettlebell on G, swinging his dick at me. It's a specialty of Julio's to relate to objects. You've seen it in his special, My Favorite Shapes, Problemista, and most recently in Phantasmas. But it is his singular craft that makes room for others to see and feel the world in the surreal way that he does. Julio takes us on absurd journeys. Most recently, thanks to him, we learned the history of the first gay hamster nightclub. The things that his little consumers, myself included, always walk away with is a laugh and an understanding of our own absurd habits and environments. What's always attracted me to Julio's work is he's not judgmental. He purely asks why, and it is usually the most fitting and human reaction. I'd be remiss in this space to not bring up one of Julio's biggest fans, legend Gary Indiana. Gary was a friend and a collaborator of mine, and I took Julio to go see what is now his final reading at McNally Jackson's in Seaport. Gary lit up when he met Julio and sent me numerous messages about how grateful he was to have met one of his heroes. And that's Julio, a hero to heroes. I'm so honored to be his friend and so honored to present him tonight.
Thank you. And thank you. Oh my God. What a night. And clap again for Macy. In fact, if at any point while I'm up here, you feel the sudden need to clap again for Macy, you may certainly do that. No, thank you so much for. Wait, no, I should thank after I'm done. Okay, sorry. Um, I, I didn't really know what to expect of tonight or what to bring, so I dusted off this thing that I'm going to read. It would be, it's not so much a work in progress as it is a forgotten work, a shelved work that still smells pretty okay, so I'm just gonna read it to you. It does necessitate a at least rudimentary understanding of this a very important piece of media, the Flintstones. Do we? Yes. Okay. So every now and then, if you're in my position, you'll get an email or a call saying they're looking for ideas with blank, and ever since Barbie, there's been a lot of bottom of the barrel toys. That you've never heard of, but I have one idea for a Flintstones project that would focus on the servant class in the Flintstones, the animals. So this is my fun sort of summer Hollywood idea that I have, and my good friend Spike will read a couple of lines off stage. But okay. The following is a speech by a prehistoric hog who, for 7 years, has served as the garbage disposal for the Flintstones household. He lived under the kitchen sink, behind a raggedy curtain, eating scraps of food, bones, or whatever else the Flintstones tossed away down the drain. His job is commonly referred to as trash hog. In the prehistoric city of Bedrock, households normally had several animals working as appliances. Being a trash hog is the obvious, if not predetermined, occupation for hogs, given their natural ability to eat a lot of waste in a short amount of time. The kind of labor performed by other animals was also dictated by their anatomy. Rabbits, for example, were suited to work as TV antennas due to their long ears. Pelicans are washing machines, as they're able to hold gallons of water and loads of laundry in their beaks. Elephants are faucets, whether in the kitchen sink or shower, thanks to their trunks. The animal worked directly under the supervision of the woman of the house, which in Maurice's case is Wilma Flintstone. Maurice's speech is addressed to her. Friends and family would describe Wilma Flintstone as warm and cheerful, though the animals would characterize her as cold and inaccessible. Maurice has, for months, been working up the courage to say what's in his mind. Excuse me, Mrs. Flintstone. I was wondering if maybe you have do you have a second? Do you think now it's a good time to talk?
What is it?
It's just sorry, I just wanted to know if it's a good time to talk.
Okay.
Okay, okay as in it is a good time to talk. I'm sorry if right now isn't a good time.
Yes, just go ahead.
Okay, sorry. Is it well? Okay. Last night you threw a really sharp bone down the drain, which really hurt my throat. It really did, and I don't know if you remember, but I've brought this up before. How I'd prefer to get a heads up before a sharp bone goes down the drain, so I can prepare to catch it at an angle that doesn't hurt my throat.
I said sorry.
Right. Yes. Well, yes. You did say sorry, but I genuinely believe it won't happen again. But I don't know. After it happened, I had this sharp pain on my throat all night, and I couldn't sleep, and I started thinking about my job here, about some of the things that I've been meaning to say for a while, and okay, so I've been working here as a garbage disposable for 7 years, and I'm happy. I'm so happy to be a part of the team. And I'm proud of all the work, of all the garbage I've eaten over the years. And I understand that you're a very busy woman, what with managing the house, taking care of Pebbles and all, but I'd like to talk about something that I've been thinking for a while. Okay, so when I first interviewed for the job, you raised the possibility of me eventually moving from eating the garbage to managing the garbage outside. The non-organic waste, separating and organizing garbage for the city to pick up, as opposed to eating the organic garbage here under the sink.
I didn't say that.
No. No, you did, remember?
I just said that I didn't.
I mean, okay, maybe you didn't promise, but you said that I might be able to move on to managing the garbage. When I interviewed, I say yes, I'd be happy to work as a garbage disposal, but I hope there's room for growth. I hope that an entry-level job at the Flintstones will lead somewhere, and you nodded your head.
Okay. And I'm not sure why you're bringing this up now. Is this still about the bone?
I mean, it is and it isn't. It's related. The point is that there's a disconnect between what's said to me and what ends up happening. And that no matter what, I keep doing my job. You not giving me a heads up about the bone, despite you saying you would, is it's a symptom of something larger, and I want to talk about. I guess I wanted to see if I could talk about the other symptoms. I guess, like you saying that I could eventually stop eating garbage. Don't get me wrong. I love having a job. However, I did go to school to be a record player. Remember the conversation we had 4 years ago? Steven, the record player, what a lovely little bird, so charming. He got really sick, and at the risk of sounding morbid, I mentioned that I went to school to be a record player, and I was like, oh, I'm so sorry to hear about Steven, poor little bird. I hope he bounces back. He must really like playing records with his pointy beak, and it looks really cool. You know, actually, I went to school to be a record player, and maybe I don't know, I'm just throwing it out there. And do you remember what you said to that? You said, haha, maybe. So naturally, I got kind of excited, and I thought at least I was gonna get an interview, but I didn't. You just replaced Steven with another little green bird, who, by the way, doesn't even know what he's playing half of the time. I'll be tucked away in my little hole eating garbage, and I'll overhear Mr. Flintstone say, "Hey, bird, play some Slap Sinatra," and the bird fully starts playing the Rock Beatles. Which is really frustrating, again, because I went to school for that, but I feel like I wasn't given a chance to even be considered for the job because I'm a pig. And people think, oh, well, birds with their needle-like beaks play records, and pigs with enormous mouths and stomachs eat garbage. And we're told, oh, that's just how it is. And people are like, well, the birds take require more sophisticated skills, and they possess those skills from birth, just with being birds. So as a pig, I'm like, okay, well, I can obtain those skills by going to school. I I can make up for the fact that I'm not a bird, all the while knowing that people will be like, oh, well, no animal can play record like a bird. But I'd actually be better at that job because A, I know music and I actually like it, and B, I'm not the obvious choice, so I'd be eager to show you what I can do. I wouldn't just coast thinking that this job is my birthright. Look, I know I don't have a beak, but I would get a little stick and I enjoy playing music. I wouldn't even care if I have to work till 2 in the morning. Then there was the issue with the answering machine. When that little bird presented his resignation letter, pretty much boasting that he was hired in radio after half-assing it here, I expressed my interest in the job. And again, you said, maybe. Okay, I knew that job was more of a long shot because I didn't go to school for communications or anything. But given that I've been working here for 6 years, I felt like at least get a shot. So I studied. I was like, okay, what does it take being an answering machine? You pick up the horn, and if no one's home, you carve a little message on the slab, and then you read it back to Mrs. Flintstone when she returns. So I practice. I didn't take any breaks from eating garbage. I know how much you rely on me for that. But when I wasn't eating garbage, I practiced writing messages on slabs of rock, which, by the way, I purchased out of my modest hourly wage. And I'm not saying that because I want to get reimbursed or anything. I'm just trying to show you how committed I am to the possibility. I go to the washroom and ask the pelican, hey, would you mind saying something to me, anything at all, so I can practice writing it down and reading it back to you? And he was like, oh, sure. I almost never got a message wrong. I still remember some of these hypothetical messages. Hey Wilma, it's Betty. Can Bam Bam come over play date tomorrow? Hi Fred, it's Barney. I can't make it to bowling, so sorry. And the pelican was like, what's the deal? Is she gonna like test you? Because if she is, you got this. You're so good. And then I was really, really embarrassed when days later, she was the one who had to tell me that you hired another bird. Again, without so much as checking with me. That night, while I was chewing on the dinner scraps and the octopus was washing the dishes, he looked down the drain into my little hole and chuckled, haha. Guess you're stuck eating garbage. How do you think I felt? And why am I stuck eating garbage? Because you see a hog. You see a garbage disposal. Okay, so for both of those jobs, the record player and the answering machine, the setup would be a little tricky for me because they do require the worker to be stationed on a little stick. And yeah, I know, I'm a pig. I can't just perch on a little stick. But this begs the question, why does the worker have to be perched on a little stick? Would the music sound any differently if the record were played by a pig who knows every title, performer, song, whether contemporary or classic, while holding a finely crafted needle and sitting on a stool? I even offered to pay for the stool. Again, out of my own money. I said, good morning, Mrs. Flintstone. So sorry if it's too early to bring this up, but I was thinking that if I get the job, I need a stool to sit on because I'm heavy. I'm too heavy. I'm too heavy for the stick. But no worries. I would buy one. I want you to know that there's no need to consider the cost of the stool when you make your final decision. And do you remember what you said? You looked at me so confused. Like you had no idea what I was talking about. And you told me that you were just very busy. For the longest time, I thought I hadn't gotten the job because I brought up the stool at a bad time. Only had I known that everything had already been decided for me. What bothers me the most is that honestly, I don't think you'd care if I were playing music or taking messages. But you do care about what other people think. You'd be scared that Betty Rubble is going to come over, and instead of seeing a delicate little bird perched on a stick ready to play some music, she'll see a huge hog sitting on a stool. Never mind how much music I know. Never mind that I'm basically the ultimate jukebox in a pig's body. Because if she's something that is slightly off, she'll think, oh, Wilma's house is out of controls. I bet Pebbles is gonna get pregnant before she finishes high school. The promise of a better future is what kept me going as I ate all those bottles and apple hearts and bones. So how do you think I felt after 2 more years when I looked out the window and saw humans in matching uniform separating organic and non-organic waste, emptying the bins into slick trucks, hopping off of each house? Now that's weird, I thought. Why would Mrs. Flintstone promise me a job that doesn't exist? I know you didn't promise, but you said maybe. And I feel like you should know how much your maybes mean to me. How the weight and glimmer that a maybe has when it's all you have. I felt so stupid. It took me 2 years to find out that the job I wasn't even real. But how would I know? I'm stationed under the sink, behind the little curtain. And by the time I get out, everyone's asleep. When I got this job, I told my wife that at first I'd be eating garbage, but eventually I'd move on to management. Every night when I'd come home, I'd get into her pen, and she'd wake up and go, "How was work?" And I'd be like, "Oh, and she said, did you talk to the animal that manages the garbage? Oh, maybe he can give you pointers, or at least when the slot's going to open." And I'd say, no, I get off work too late. Hopefully tomorrow. I could tell that the answer was less and less satisfying to my wife each time. Like she didn't believe me. So when I learned that there was no job, that I was going to be eating garbage for the foreseeable future, my first thought was, what am I going to tell Petunia? And I didn't tell her anything. Instead, that night, when she asked again, I just got mad. I didn't even explain why. I got mad at her. Not at you, at her. I got mad that she had gotten me Mr. Garbage Manager badge for my birthday. I accused her of jinxing me. We went to sleep angry. The next day, I calmed down and resigned myself to working as a garbage disposal. Petunia stopped asking me about the possibility of getting a better job because she was scared I'd get mad at her. We didn't talk about it again until Stephen got sick. And then suddenly I saw hope. Maybe there was a shiner and brighter future that I'd seen before, a chance to play music. But I didn't tell Petunia this time because I didn't want her to get her hopes up. I even got kind of superstitious. I'd come back home and go to bed next to Petunia with a big smile thinking, I can't wait to tell her I'm going to be a record player. And then I didn't get the job. I was so mad. Mrs. Flintstone, you have caused a fracture in my marriage. I brought home all my anger from work. I told Petunia that I hated the food that she made for me because that made me feel big. I feel so small here. I just hope she can forgive me. I hope she can forgive me for taking my anger about her to you, about you to her. Dear prehistoric God, Even when you compliment me, the point is to keep me in my place. Good hog, you say when I swallow a panload of scraps in one bite. Good hog. I didn't realize until recently that this is a tactic. And now I'm hurt every time I get a compliment. By rewarding me for a good job you know that I don't want, you imply that I'm meant for this and nothing else. Good hog. What's worse is that sometimes I'd say, dear God, sometimes I would say, yum yum, I love scraps. There, in my little hole, in my little cage, thinking that if I excel, that if I'd seem happy, I'll escape. Yum, yum. I love scraps. I'm such a fucking coward. But you know what? I feel sorry for you. I really do. I feel sorry for you. Okay, maybe I don't feel sorry for you, but I do feel a sense of kinship because you're also trapped. I heard you that cold night 5 years ago when you got home late from the supermarket after, I'm sorry if this is a low blow, but I heard you haul in bag after bag of groceries, the wind howling, the snow flying in through the door. Mr. Flintstone was moving around the rabbit antenna's ears trying to watch the game. And as you were putting away the groceries, you told him how cold your legs get while wearing your little white dress. And that you were thinking of making clothes that could cover you up more. Mr. Flintstone was like, what? He hardly looked up, but that didn't keep you from sharing your idea. I could tell that you were really excited, but you were also a little nervous. You told him that you wanted to cover up your legs in the winter, and you walked over the kitchen table and put down some slabs with sketches on them. You told Fred that you designed a skirt with a stretch of fabric over each leg. You called them pants. They won't interfere with anything, you assured him. They won't change who I am. And you said, I think a lot of people would really not like wearing rags when it's cold, especially women who are always wearing tiny little dresses, just because, well, why are we all just wearing tiny little dresses? You asked him what he thought, and he said, well, I don't know, it just seems weird. He glanced at the slabs for 2 seconds, frowned, and then laughed. He couldn't back up his opinions with anything, and he didn't even elaborate. He just said, I don't know, it's weird. Then he left the room. You stayed in the kitchen for a bit, sitting at the table, looking at your little drawings, so beautifully carved in stone. Then you picked them up and shoved them down the drain. But I want you to know, I didn't eat them. I kept them. When you left the kitchen, some of the other animals laughed at you. I'm not going to name names, but I'll just say octopus. But I think your idea is so inspiring. I have the carvings right here, leaning against the wall of my little hole as a reminder of what could be. As a reminder that you're not a bad person, that you're just also trapped. Look, I'm sorry I got so personal. I just want to show you that even though I'm mad, I also understand, and I've been wrong for the same reasons that you've been wronged. Okay, so in conclusion, I am mad about these incidents, how you handle these jobs, but I guess I'm more mad at the system that keeps me eating garbage, but also keeps you from keeping me eating garbage. I know you can't change everything, but I just wanted you to hear me out, and I know what I've been to know what I've been going through and how hard it was for me to bring this up. And look, I don't blame you completely, but you are complicit. Which I know sounds harsh, but I know, what can I say? I'm just hurt and frustrated, and I'm still eating garbage.
Is that all?
Yeah, I think so. Thank you for pretending to be Mrs. Flintstone Pelican. I hope I haven't kept you from doing too much laundry.
Nah, that's okay. When are you going to talk to her?
I don't know. I mean, saying this out loud made me feel a whole lot better. So it was just so long ago. You know, I maybe I just won't bother. Thank you. Thank you.
Give it up one more time for Julio Torres. And once more for Macy Rodman. And thank you so much to my colleagues at the sound table who've been heroes tonight. To Serena, our videographer, to our volunteers, to staff, to you all for coming. Please come back. We'll see you very soon. Have a great night.